All right. Well, we're back again, and I know these are just coming one after another. And I gotta tell you, man, I have a passion for knives. I really do. My collection has grown and shrank over time. I had a bunch of knives, a bunch more. Um, but when I moved out of my parents' house the first time, I ended up losing a lot of them. I started getting rid of some that I really didn't need or didn't want, and there were some that I can't even find anymore. But I probably should have paid more attention to that. But that's okay. I mean, it's how it is. This collection kind of grew over the years. This isn't something that happened just recently. This is just something that's happened for, it's been growing over time. So this is one of my older knives that I've had for some time. And it's not a knife that I really carry too much because I don't want to get any raised eyebrows from law enforcement, especially knowing a few friends of mine. So let's talk blades, everybody. That's what we're into. Sorry about that 1 minute rant of me talking about my collection. This is one of the knives from my earlier collection that has not left me. This is a pretty old piece, and I say that this is probably over. Oh, geez, I want to say this is probably close to over 12, 13 years old. This particular piece, so it's one of my original pieces. I believe this is the safe maker, is what they call it. It comes with this lanyard bit right here. Once upon a time ago, I used to work at a sword shop, so a knife store, I should say, and it was in the it's in the local mall where I live now, and still around. Uh, this was one of the knives that I carried with me because I walked everywhere. I didn't at the time. I was a kid and I didn't have a car, and I was always walking everywhere. And this always was at the small of my back, right where my belt was, and I always clicked it on every day for I want to say about a good year. Um, but yeah, this is one that I collected and I still have it. I was about to get rid of it one day, but I changed my mind on it, and that's probably a good idea that I changed my mind on it. So here it is in all its glory. Oh, excuse me, Safe Maker 2. I don't even know my own knives. Of course, it's cold steel. Japan. All right. The one thing that really bothered me about this piece in particular wasn't the fact that it's the style of blade, because everybody knows I love self-defense knives. I just think that they're great. They look fantastic. They're appealing, you know. And of course, there are certain types. There are people that like knives like these, and there are people that absolutely don't like knives like these, and that's okay. I don't know why. I like these kind of things. They're just great. So the one thing that really bothers me about this, in particular, is how secure this Secure X sheath is, and I say that with love because I don't know if I got one that's just not good, but it doesn't. You don't hear a click on this, and I never heard a click on this ever. It's just held in, so, and you can see it. You can see it a little bit here. You can kind of see it. There's these notches in there that are supposed to hold this thing in place. And I want to say that it does, but then it also doesn't, because I don't hear any audible notification, and any kind of sign that it's held in there by just friction. So I mean, it's not coming out, but I don't hear anything. It just slides in and slides out, no problem. That always worried me because normally I'll hear some sort of sign that it's in and you're fine. But this never did that. Had it ever fallen out? No. But I mean, it's something to take consideration of. Turn down the light a little bit. Okay, yeah, it's still on. All right. So we'll get into the measurements of it, how much it weighs, all that. If you're able to find it, it's relatively. This is an OS 8 version. This was back when Cold Steel was just using just OS 8 for all of their knives, except for their high-end swords, which were a different type of high-carbon steel. Now, 3.91 ounces. So this, with the lanyard, this military ball chain lanyard that's painted, is still pretty light. So I don't use this lanyard. I never have. I just put it on because it came with the knife, and that's how I keep things together in my collection. But this knife in particular was always one that I always put in the small of my back, on my belt. That little belt clip thing right there. So it always worked out. So I'll get into the length of it. I'll do the length with the sheath and without. I don't know if that's going to make a difference, but... So when it's on your body, you're looking at a 5.38 inches. And for just the blade alone, it's a very... Okay, so you got like I want to say about 2 inches of actual cutting edge. But you have a 3 1/4 inch blade. And then overall, you have a total of 5 inches. Yeah. Yep, I want to say about 5 inches altogether. So, it's a small guy. And this is the type of knife that is only designed for one thing and one purpose only, and that's self-defense. Punch daggers. I heard at one point that punch daggers were illegal. They outlawed them, and then now they're saying that I've been hearing people say that they can't decipher whether or not a punch dagger is considered a dagger or a dirk. So it's just falls in the category of fixed blades, and it's kind of gray area now at this point. But if you guys know, please let me know in the comment section down below whether or not you think that this is still legal to carry. At least in California anyways. That's where I live right now. And I bought this. Obviously, it was here. It was legal. And it's just, I don't know what the argument is now, and I really don't care. I don't carry this. I simply don't. I don't want there to be any problems with any type of law enforcement or people freaking out if I take this out to open a box or something, which, a lot of people that use or have self-defense knives, they use them for EDC. I mean, we're not going to lie here. I mean, you use a knife for what a knife can do. It cuts, so you're going to cut things open. You're going to cut your mail open. You're going to pry open a can of beans while you're camping. Whatever you're going to do with your knife is all on you. Most of the times, people use their knives for everyday mundane things. So I was actually using this as an EDC at the time, a long time ago when I was carrying this. And that's how you can tell there's a little bit of use on the blade. That is from me. And I didn't abuse it. I would just use it for normal things, cutting open things, opening up packages and mail, and cutting open boxes and stuff like that, zip ties, that sort of thing. So it wasn't like I was going above and beyond with this, but it was cool to pull it out because putting it in your hand, I mean, this thing is a very effective tool. They even have they have another safe maker that's twice the size. It's huge. So this little guy is nothing compared to the actual one. But this size is fine for me. It works just fine. Do I suggest anybody get these? No. This only appeals to a certain kind of crowd. It's one that is visually appealing to me, but it's also, the ergos are a little bit funky because I'm used to a knife being held like this, and having a handle straight down, not this T-shaped thing where you have to put in between your hands and pretend like you're some ghetto Wolverine, going around trying to be tough. But this is a type of knife that only appeals to a certain crowd. And sometimes this appeals to a certain type of crowd that don't really have good intentions. So a lot of people just see it as it's a cool factor, and some people see it as it's a weapon. Others see it as, it's a knife, I don't care for it. And you know what? That's okay. This is rubber, by the way. Rubberized handle. It feels a little bit like when I was sweating one day, it was really hot. Having this in my hand kind of shifted around a bit. I don't know if it's the texture or maybe it was just my sweaty hand at the time. But I don't know, it didn't really feel right. It didn't feel like I was getting the grip on there that I wanted. Because there's a certain type of grip that makes you feel mentally that it's secure in the hand. This just feels like you got one chance to get it right, and if you mess up, that's it. Because you never know if this thing could be off, like it could be way too forward or way too up or way too down, and you might not get the right type of result with it. So, could this be a good self-defense tool? Well, it's designed for that, so sure. Is this a good tool for EDC? Absolutely not. Because of the way that the blade is positioned, the handle, it's only a single-purpose driven knife, in my opinion, in that self-defense. So, but that's Cold Steel for you. Cold Steel is known for making kind of self-defense-y, background-oriented blades, and I think that's fantastic, especially when they're doing videos of cutting meat and all that, and you know what crowd they're trying to attract. But it's that cool factor. It's their selling point. But yeah, this is the AUS 8 version. If you're able to find it, good luck and good on you. If you're able to get it. It's a fantastic. If this is what you like. If you don't, then obviously you don't have to. But it's one that I had in my collection. I've been shifting it around and I kind of facepalm myself a few times. Like, do I really want to review this? Is this even something anybody would like to see a review on? And there's not too many punch daggers out there. I think there's one from CRKT. I can't remember the name of it, but it's from the same creator of the Gelato knife. It's like a Rodriguez design, I believe. I might be wrong. I'm really tired right now. Anyways, that's the punch dagger I have in my collection. I think I have one other one, I don't know. I got to find it. It's somewhere. Anyways, in these trying times, be kind, be safe. Please, please, please carry responsibly. Slash that like button, stab that subscribe if you haven't done so already. Oh, and just in case if you're wondering, how sharp is that punch dagger? And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to show it. No, I'm just kidding. I'll show you. Here's some paper. I'll move this aside because I know someone's going to be like, yo, I want to see how sharp that is. There's no real good way. This is double-edged, so there's really no positive way that I can show this accurately because it's already at a funky angle and the fingers. So it's decent. It's decent. And that's also because I put it through some use. So, and the way that the grind is on this thing is, you can tell it's only made for one purpose. It's not really made for, It's just, it's a self-defense knife, guys. Maybe next time I'll cut into some meat or something. I don't know. But it did a somewhat of a decent job. It's very, you can see the quality of the paper of how it's kind of fraying, that the cuts weren't exactly clean. Yeah, it's not, but it does cut. It does cut. It is relatively sharp, so. Yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.